ain't got you. Baby, you don't know what it's like to love somebody the way I love. Ooh. And delete. Don't go. Hey, Nhat Gardener, good morning to you. Top of this fine day. Do do do. Da da da. That one guy. 143. As in like how? Like beautiful as in weather-wise? Or just... Or actually all around? You mean all around? I know what you mean all around. It's weird how I ask a question to get a person to think the question, and then they answer the question because they're thinking it. And then I take the answer sometimes, you know what I mean? So it's like, I ask the question just to make a person think the answer so that I can get the answer. And it's usually just me playing the 80% guessing game. So many terrible things happen that I got the chance. Oh, brilliant. You legend of a human. So you literally doing that. So like it was terrible experiences and you're like, no, it was a great day. I got to experience some things. What a great attitude, you know? That's what it's supposed to be. There's alchemy, mate, basically. Take two models of the universe. One where you're doing this, one where you're not doing this. You know, one where you're around complaining. William, let's go, dude. William Duber. That's where you're at. Also Zimbabwean South African. I'm a Zimbabwean South African. Choredzi, by the way, if you're still here. Sugarcane, bro. He's probably left. Anyway, Freaky Gary, sup? Fastest man alive. No one faster than A-Train. Alright, that's you. Hi, A-Train. Wandimu Benta. Classic. So, fancy world we're living in. So the Olympics, and I'll wait a while for more people to arrive. Sup, olive oil. If I talk about the Olympics and stuff. Sup, Tommy Fulgion. I've never heard the word. I've never actually seen the name Tommy other than Tommy Laurent, like, you know, the Republican blonde chick talk stuff. Got fired for saying her body, her choice. Yeah, it is Tommy. It is also Tommy. Sky Eye. Sup, Sky Eye. Dun dun dun. Clips Auroran play. Auroran play. Sup, Clips Auroran play. And so, yeah, the Olympics, not what I was going to say is the actual Olympic YouTube channel took their video down of the opening ceremony. So I think popular opinion is having its way. Which is also weird, because then also, although now there's the count of energy kicking in, where people are like, what, that's France, man, get over it. It's like suddenly the world can read metaphor, and it's offended. Oh, did you really couldn't go find it? That's so cool. Best place to watch it is X on Twitter. It's got the most... Dude, it's so funny, Nhat Gardener. There's so many opinions. So, first of all, are you against it or are you for it? Okay, now as soon as you go into those camps, the against it camps don't even argue the same thing why they're against it. This is like a whole bunch of further and further distorted reasons for who's offended at what and why, and how many variables are offensive, and how many of those variables they're misinterpreting, and how many of them they are interpreting right. You know, it's worth doing. X is fascinating, Nhat Gardener, from the point of view of what the collective is at itself, all the thoughts, all the opinions, all the takes. Not so that you go get involved, so you realize, oh, is this where everybody's at? And you realize it's actually just a holographic reflection. It's not actually worth getting involved. Every opinion's out there. And then you see that people are really not talking about subject matter. They're talking about themselves in relation to their Atman, their existence, not existence. That place where you exist but you don't exist, right? It is what it is. That's what they're actually dealing with. And it's fun to see comments and then people who comment against each other just for the sake of it, and the way that they build their argument is just to counter the other structure. Not actually because they want to be right or they want to extract what's best from it. And then there's hypocrisy left, right, and centre. It's just very interesting. But James, good morning, bro. Top of this fine day to you. It's Monday here. I have a good feeling about things. Oh, no, a narcoleptic gardener. You might get mad at him again. So Elon recently, I don't know. He's recently done. Hey, Gardner, listen to me. Every human in this world is going to eventually upset you now, because it's like everyone's changing positions and they're not agreeing completely. So, like, example, Elon is pro extra children. If you're not having 4 children or 5, you're not doing it right. That's Elon, and he's pro Trump. And I'm not saying that's good or bad. I think what I'm trying to say is the more you listen to him, eventually he's going to be a certain attitude that you're going to be like, I don't agree with that. That's why you have to look at this place like energy and walk on its surface and not engage in the actual topics. While others are saying you can't just stand by while Christianity is ridiculed. You see the trick? Your own shadows are trying to get you to participate in basically nonsense. But then again, you can also go get involved in nonsense if you keep a certain level of detachment. Or detachment, really. It's a fascinating place right now. Gotta call it Twitter. Oh, that's hilarious, dude. I'm calling it Twitter because he can't, call his daughter by her real name. Sup, Amy? And then that's the thing as well. So he's all like, you saw the interview where he's like, oh, my son's dead. Tricked into the woke thing. But like, I'm like thinking, whoa, did he actually die? Did he get depressed and make a mistake and make a change and then, make a decision to leave this world? And then the next day, Elon's his daughter, looking wonderful. It's like, actually, no. I literally thought him and Jordan Peterson were like, my son's dead. And I was like, oh, shame, he's dead. And Peterson's like, he's dead. And Elon's like, he's dead. I'm like, I thought it was dead. No, it's like, no, he's dead to me. My son doesn't exist. It's now a girl. So Elon straight up doesn't tolerate that. And my whole thing is, people for people's sake. You must do what you must do for you. Treat yourself. And now society's going, no, but if I don't have enough people breeding and acting this way and dressing like this, then you won't participate in my Christian nuclear family story. And that's up for debate, whether the atypical Christian nuclear family is something perpetually sustainable. Of course it's not. It's connected to capitalism and greed and a bunch of other countries in the world that have to have their resources taken. Otherwise, you can't maintain that. The Western world's nuclear Christian family can't be maintained. And that's the bottom freaking line. And as long as the Western leaders are telling us that, they're lying, and therefore they're going to try and convince us to go to war with barbarians for natural resources, it's obvious. The place is psychic. The planet knows what's going on with itself. Because that same thing I just said, you within yourself, if you meditate and you watch your own mind's interaction with itself, it's doing the same thing. It's trying to convince you that some part of you is something less or greater than you, so you can have your way with yourself. It's all equal, undifferentiated consciousness. And the more we educate everyone on that, the less people participate, the more people stand around going, hey, this is obvious, because there's not enough actors to participate in the performance energetically. And he said, dude, you didn't narcoleptic gardener. Listen here now. You didn't just say only sit still in absolutes, you legend. Carrie, that's so good. I went on a whole half an hour. I was like, okay, cool, don't worry. It just said, narcoleptic gardener just said only sit still in absolutes. It's so good. He just said only sit still in absolutes. That's really good, because I was saying how Anakin and Obi were having a thumb war with words, and he's like, only sit still in absolutes. That's an absolute. But it's also a checkmate absolute. So he's like, as soon as you argue with me after this, because the force is one unity. So the force is arguing with itself, and then it's like a word of wars. I was basically going into that in depth and saying that's like an oxymoron to say only Siths deal in absolutes. That's an absolute. That's so good. We're at a cycle for a reset. But we're a bit more awake this time. That was classic. I just like the fact that there's like I'd say a 40 in a network of psychicness, so the subject matter that we're all dealing with and thinking about gets brought up by other people that you deal with. It's really cool. And then ultimately, the psychology behind all of this, if I wasn't pretending I'm talking to different people, there's a reason, there's an absolute intelligence behind creation, which is God, which is why I'm actually always having a conversation with that, regardless of who I talk to. So if you don't stay on point, basically stay present so that you're in that continuous conversation with yourself and you're actually keeping tabs. You're technically, every time you are present and then not present and then present again, you're typing in a brand new universe and actually almost could be countering your whole energy. But that's what create a distort that will be experienced, that will be studied. Just like a negative experience that you enjoy because you got experience and you learn something from it. That's so good. See that also yesterday. See now there's layers to that. I can go now and say the second last video that I saw, where the girl's like, we should talk to ourselves. Why shouldn't we? We're our best friends. I've been with me since the beginning. That or the realization that you just said, as the absolute God said right back at me what I just said. There's degrees of psychological layer. It's a good point though. You have been with yourself this whole time. James, thank you so much for likes, dude. Da-na-na. Is that tunable? Let's go, dude. Sup? I keep not reading messages. I'm going to read it here quickly. Good morning, tunable. Da-na-na-na. And then the last Olympics, I don't know when they happened. Like, they happened because everyone in this one was like, this is so much better than last time. There's people here in the stadium. And I thought last one they pushed forward to 2021. I don't remember when they actually did the Olympics last time. I don't remember watching a single event. It really doesn't count. Is it really? I don't know. See, I don't know what's the like that. It's crazy how many things I know, how many things went south with it. Like there's that. See, I literally every morning waking up and putting on to X is like Christmas morning. Literally Christmas morning, because it's like presence. My presence is repolarized based on my psychological interface with my giant singularity puppet show I call reality. Da-na-na-na. And so the more you can undifferentiate, I find that fascinating. Because, like, for example, I've got a whole psychological strategy of Trump to mess with everything to make a noise, but ultimately Kennedy stepping in. And Trump really to make a noise was meant to push Biden aside. But then Kamala stepped in, and for no reason I took a liking to her laughing for no reason. And then there's Christians going, Kamala Harris, she's Kali, the Hindu goddess of distraction. Like, she's Kali, she's a demon. And the Christians are trying to give a spin, like, if you vote her and you're voting for, like, demon worship. I'm like, no, Kali's great. Hindu, trying to spin Hindu mythology off as demons. It's like, no, there's different qualities. If Christianity had an angel for each season, the winter would be such an evil season. What's that? It's a shadow. Ah! Run, Christian, run! That's a Christian that seems like the Christian psychology. Is that, what's that? I don't know, it moved, it's the devil. I'm in a sassy mood, that's so cool. You gotta be a little bit, gotta make it fun, basically. Yo, sup, fireworks! Good morning to you, dude. Thank you so much for the heart, me. Good morning, Zandria. I owe you a reading. I'll do it today. Yeah, I'll lock myself in now saying I'm doing it today. Is there any area that you're curious about? Anything you wanted expanded on more so than other things? Anything currently happening? Any themes? Dinner, you don't know Sup, Mercy? That's so weird. Just before Mercy popped on, I was thinking of Percy Jackson for some reason. Alright. Sup, awareness, Jess. Top of this fine day to you. So the world's very much, you know how much of this is happening in the world right now? Yeah, but the thing, what? You know, where the person's talking to another person, and then they hear the other person say their thing, and then they're like, is that how you see it? Like the world's both shocked by how it sees it, as in, like a lot of people have a lot of subtle difference in the way they spin things. So all the outrage is making them verbalize why they're outraged, and the particular topography of the outrage isn't the same amongst everybody. It's all unique. So it was like life took on 100 new, each word took on 100 new meanings, and suddenly people are like, we've never been speaking to each other. So what exactly do you mean by Christian? You know, what do you mean by offensive? What? Who exactly is Dionysus to you? That kind of thing. Because then you go, Dionysus is a demon god, Greek demon. Okay. God is a god of wine. And it's like Jesus at the Last Supper was taking the mickey out of the Jewish culture. So it's like, you don't tease us with the Last Supper. No, the Last Supper was Jesus taking the piss out of sacrifices. The Jewish culture needed to do sacrifices. So he's like, yeah, how about this? No sacrifices. So you pretend when you eat, you turn that into a ritual, and you treat this like the holy blood and the holy flesh. So at the Last Supper, he was saying the Jewish culture was outdated and stupid. So now you go and get offended that the Last Supper is ripped off, when it's a rip-off in itself about the Jewish culture. Oh, hello. What's the collective IQ? Because a lot of people are going, I don't like this because this is offensive. It's like, yeah, where did that originate? Go back a bit further. If people did that, they'd be like, oh, it's all just never ending the same thing. It's just an echo of an echo of an echo. I wonder who's going to... See, and that's what's fun, to read now all the outrage and wait for someone to say that. So now, who is Moloch? Moloch. That's who they used to thingy it to. The Jewish sacrifice. Yeah, exactly. And that would be the bull, and it would be from Taurus, the age before. The religion there, you know. Well, not the religion, but the conscious archetypal forming. And so then when there's a golden calf, it's supposed to be sacrificed, but then they got the bull in the Olympics. It's not a calf. And they're like, it's the golden calf. So what I'm saying is that either they're getting the symbolism wrong, or the symbolism origin of what it means ultimately. They think that there's good symbolism and bad symbolism, and the bad symbolism is worship. Meantime, the bad symbolism is the energetic patterns of the good symbolism's other half. It's part of the same Taurus field structure, the self-knowing self. Basically, people accusing shadows of being demons, their own shadow of being a demon. It's the shadow of the same. So now you've got a whole planet basically writing an IQ test, a quantum IQ test, based on how they're offended or not, or care or don't care, or are transcended. See, it's all just energy. Because symbols and all this symbolism and storytelling, it's innate. What you pull from it is your level of psychology. It doesn't have a thing in and of itself. The history they teach is wrong. Well, that's the thing now. Your history they teach. Because how wrong is in how many degrees of wrong and how many parallel timelines. And where they're telling the stories from. Meaning they're not maybe even lying. It may be the version of the story we get told is how much it's distorted, is how much timelines are contributing to the retelling of it. Which means it's actually more accurate. The lie, the incorrect retelling is actually more accurate because it's a greater topography of your actual condition. Which is why I don't consider lies lies.
Haven't the pagans been asking for Easter back for centuries? I mean, lots of stuff is co-opted by Christianity.
But that's what I'm trying to say. They don't know that. The average person doesn't have lots of saturated knowledge on all the subject matter. Because that would mean researching would feel like blasphemy. It would be like doing your own science on the other front of superstition, basically. In 3rd they teach wrong. But I mean, like, actually, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, the actual subject matter. Like they say, it was Moses, da 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 da, and it's like, well, it was Aaron and stuff, like that kind of thing wrong. You know what I mean? The actual information, or what they say you should take from the story. No, I didn't do on fireworks. Thanks, Gina Ball. Abraham and Isaac. That's another. Yeah, that's another one. That's further back. But I know what you're talking about when it comes to he's supposed to have taken his son up to the thingy and sacrificed him. It's all psychological self stories where Abraham, God himself, superstition. Let's whisper. Broken telephone, classic. Because that is, as it is, just my perception of yesterday, let alone my retelling of a history event. But again, 3D is an illusion, so there is no real telling of it. What do you want to get the actual information down? No 10 people are even going to care about the event the same way. They're going to be like, yeah, but did they die? Or yeah, but what was the formation? Or yeah, but were they all feeling happy that day? Everyone's going to come at it from a different angle and sequentially absorb all its variables differently. And that's not collective. That's so good. A dimensional, broken, multidimensional telephone is what we're all playing alone by ourselves, basically. It's a magnification of the inner conflict. Exactly. And that's what's so cool, that half the time I can feel the planet. Half the time people are going, oh, I thought it was all like this. Now I realize all people see it like that. I'm like, oh, well, I must relook at it. A lot of that's happening. And actually you're falling in. And also you're picking in, you'll come across people who actually have quite good outlooks. And then you're like, oh, cool, it completely reforms you. I'm hoping that all this internet and all this communication and all the funniness and every human is another brilliant being in itself. Meaning you don't know how a human's outlook and what they say, how a whole bunch of people can suddenly go, oh, and things can fall into place. That's why it's fun reading this develop. To read someone say, no, it's not the golden calf, it's actually this. Or to say, yeah, but the Last Supper, Jesus was saying, he was basically saying that Jewish culture was an interesting habit, ritual. And then they say, there's the last, what they say, they turned it into is it a ritual or is it a worship? That thing. You see, the more we talk this, eventually humans are going to realize what you do on a daily basis is your ritual, is your trance, is your God. So do you treat everyday activities like they're special and divine? It's going to be interesting. There's so many conversations to be had. And all the criticism is only self-knowledge, erroneous criticism. You're not actually... All the criticism isn't. The criticism isn't. You'll see. So basically, if you go on Twitter and you read everyone's comments for and against, and then you read the counter arguments for and against, and then you read and then you keep doing that, there's a whole base of opinion. And it's not... Melly, it's so weird, Melly? It's so weird. Everything's just so weird. There's a fine line, Melly, between reality and Mandela effects. Let's put it that way. And so when you want to be right and you want to know and you're intuitive, and everybody's now getting off of the reality is real. Everyone's getting off of the reality is real ride. And as soon as you get off the reality is real ride, reality has to arrange itself to reflect whatever you hold true about yourself. So now it's not even who cares what actually happens? That's where a lot of people are. Because now there's no real happens. It's what we all agree happens. And so now Trump, now it's shrapnel. There's no bullets, the FBI. And so my thing is, when you try to be right in a world that's illusionary, you can't hold things in place. And if That's why the universe will make you wrong 20% of the time. It'll swap a universe thing out for you. Do you need to be right? Who cares about your opinion when it comes to an external illusionary world that is only a reflection of you? It's not for a freaking... The objects are irrelevant. The objects are irrelevant. Trump, Kennedy, Kamala, that rock over there, this mouse, they're not relevant. They're not relevant. Their collective emanation is one unified consciousness. The individual aspects are not relevant. So when you deal with each individual aspect, your attitude will be your actual attitude about the totality. So you're getting tricked into little quagmires of conversation about yourself. Yeah, but how do you feel about the blue guy? Now, whatever we say, we're talking about ourselves, not the actual blue guy in a setting with a bunch of counter opinions. Abstract energy doesn't have an opinion about itself. It just mirrors itself. Is it a bronze calf? You see, man, can't you tell? Gold's got a thingy lighter tone. Don't you even have a bronze gold palette on you? You know. Stupid people, it's so dramatic. This life is not. That's another clever way of saying you're God's gift to itself. Definitely being the present. The covenant. That's it. So not tunable. I talk about that all the time. The Ark of the Covenant and the boat's ark, they are connected energetically, metaphorically, but not literally. And I've talked about it lots in my lives. The idea of an arc, a story arc, beginning, middle, and an end. Consciousness where I saw a video yesterday that said light and sound is 55 octaves difference. I know it to be 40 octaves difference. Hence it flooded in the Bible for 40 days. It's got to do with, it's a conscious story to do with your Mercuba and being in consciousness, and that the three sons of Noah and the daughter, their wives, are your Mercuba's three triangles. You know what I'm trying to say? Your Mercuba has three feminine, masculine, and they spin in opposite directions. The Bible's Old Testament is actually footnotes to many stories and many layers of reality. And then the Ark of the Covenant, the actual other device, the two angels, facing forward, the subatomic matter that actually facilitates the way stories permeate. There's a metaphorical code in the Ark of the Covenant. So there is a connection, and I'm not flowing on it right now. I've flowed with information, the connection better in other lives. What do I see on TikTok is timeline shift. Yeah. That's what it is at the moment from 3D. Or more this is what's happening. When you interface with reality and you change something or you talk, you're going through the astral and you're actually just interfacing with your parallel self. So difficult to explain this. So, and then you're going back to fifth. We used to be in third doing that in fourth and going back to third. So now we actually, yes, I got it clearly yesterday, we're fifth, we're energy. And then we solidify, redefine ourselves based on whatever you hold true. And then you go back to your fifth nature. So at the moment, so many people are realizing that they're fifth and that their energy that in the now defines themselves. So what do you choose to see in your environment? What do you choose to talk about? As soon as you do it, you're talking about yourself and you're polarizing. And you're dipping into fourth astral realm, going, I know you are, what am I? And then popping back out of the creation again. So every time you think, you're engaging your mirrored self in whatever subject matter. Others on others. Others on others. Other stuff isn't other stuff. That's key. So the teaching is no teaching. The teaching is you already know it all, if you know yourself. I want to know about remote viewing. So basically, you can do two types of remote viewing. You can get impressions on they give you coordinates, or they say, listen, they give you a name of a city. There's plenty of ways to do it. And you can get impressions. And then you can astral travel as well. Astral travel, you actually leave your physical body. So suitable, so you heard me talk about the story arc concept. Tree of life, the degrees of fire, red, blue, and purple. Red and blue, in the concept of inner cosmically, like light that's traveling away is red, light that's coming towards us is blue. I think that's the Doppler effect, I think. The concept of things that are hot and cold, and trying to find yourself. You're hot, no, cold. Cold, hot, cold. Your mind is also playing that. It's also doing that. Your mind has, I think it probably has like 108 symbolism, communication, self-relation setups, basically. No, narcoleptic, I wasn't. Why they want electric stoves? Da-na-na-na. If I ain't got you. Okay, let's see what the stupid place is doing. Who messages me? Nobody messages me. What's going on here? What about the... Oh. Hey, I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that at all. Because the 100, I didn't know about that. Repetitions. Tara, 2 Tara, no ways. Green Tara mantra. No ways. Looks like Kuan Yin.
I'm Iyanla Vanzant, and I'm 20 years old. I like my skin color.
Helps to overcome fear, anxiety, grants wishes. Sibylla! Let's go. Thank you. What's up, second? Thank you so much for the gift. I'm instantly afraid. Like, it's supposed to protect you. I feel scared. I feel exposed to the elements. Good morning, Corin. Sorry, narcoleptic. Thanks for another rose. Thank you for another rose. Sibylla. Now, Sibylla, I don't know why I want to look it up now. Is it a name, actual name, or did you is it another language? Is it Sibylla, Queen of Jerusalem? No ways. Never even heard of that name. Did you make it up? No, you made it up. Was the Queen of Jerusalem from 11... Wait a minute. Is that... Because they would have just done the Crusades. Queen of Jerusalem. How do you choose a queen? You can't... This isn't... We take turns. You can't just get handed a sword from some aquatic lady. It's like, like King Arthur. Monty Python, basically. So that's no form of government. Some aquatic lady hands you a sword. I'm King Arthur, I was handed the Excalibur. What? Crazy ladies in rivers handing out swords is no way to create a government. Sibylla was the eldest daughter of King Amluric, and the only daughter of Angus of Courtenay. Her father died in 1174, making her heir presumptive to her younger brother, King Baldwin. Haha! That one is it is King Baldwin. It's the Baldwin. He would have been a leper. Sibylla, no ways! You subscribed. How are you? That's so cool. Welcome to the live. Thanks so much for subscribing. Okay, let's read more about Sibylla. when it was clear that 11-year-old Baldwin had contracted leprosy. I just said that. So now I'm reading about it. That's so... Sibylla, that's so cool. I feel bad. When was the last time you were here? Why don't I follow you back? Don't go changing. Shortly after giving of your birth to son Baldwin, Sibylla came to the association with her brother in public arts, thereby being as the next in line to the throne. That's so cool. Have you been good? I'm like, I say I hope, and then I'm like, you're looking into your energy. Yeah, I think that you have had a good year so far. Okay. Oh, hectic. It's funny how verbalizing it makes it slightly better to say I'm in a depressive rut. Have you watched any of Jim Carrey's videos from 2017 about depression? Talking about deep rest and how we basically have to be certain characters and certain people to people. People expect things of us to play, certain psychological roles. And how because we end up becoming, basically play with a character we don't want to be. We want to be authentic all the time, and we can't, because it'll disappoint people. It talks about depression and deep rest. It's really cool. And like now he's all like, I used to be a guy experiencing a world, now I feel like a world experiencing a guy. Pretty cool. Don't you find that the difference this time, like this kind of like depressive, low energy having experience of, it's slightly better than normal. Like you're more present with yourself. Like you're able to actually articulate it and look at it. Basically be with yourself. In a way, it feels like it's clean. It's clearing. I was gonna say that. Just sit with that. That's it. Just be and sit with it. That's what she's doing. I can tell. That's it. Exactly. And it's dissipating. It comes down to authentic. The time you spend just sitting, not having to be up or down, because you want to counter that non-stop melancholic feeling in the background, that non-stop dread. By sitting with it, it's going to dissipate once and for all. I literally read your energy now, clear. So well done, because when you do that, it's literally sends out ways for more people to be authentic and sit with themselves. When we go for try and do happy, cool, fun things to distract ourselves from sitting in that, we actually abandon ourselves, and it actually makes it worse. So it evaporates very quickly when you're willing to sit with yourself. That's what you're doing. And it really does. I know it sounds lame, because you don't get to experience it, but every time you put off an authentic nature, everyone who experiences it literally goes, I'm going to do that. And they don't do it around you, they don't necessarily thank you, but you're literally so authentic that you give them the permission to be authentic as well. James, have an amazing one, dude. This week's going to be so, so good, eh? Have an amazing, amazing rest. You guys are all on Sunday evening. I don't know why to do this. Oh, the collective thinks clearer now. A lot of people in the last 2 days are like, I'm not participating with the feeling of I'm not human. I'm not that I'm not human, that I'm not, I'm watching this planet, I'm watching everybody. So many people have put out so many, not offensive opinions, but like, someone that says what you say and you agree, and then they say 5 more things, but those 5 more things are they're not the same reasons for why you think that first thing. There's so much of that. There's so much of that happening where it's like, I'm offended because they dress like that. No, I'm offended because the way the guy's dancing with the child. No, I'm offended. No, I don't care about that. And everyone's... And then they're going like, so what exactly does all that stuff mean to you again? And then so it's that. And it's lots of that. I can just feel it, like thousands and millions of people going, No, but that's not why we celebrate the Last Supper. No, but it's not this. It's the thing of it. It's not about that. It's about this. And everyone's going, no, but I thought we said it was because of this. And so the whole place is decentralizing. It's energetically, nobody's actually got the same take on everything. Everything has a subtle difference. Therefore, when you put it all together, you realize that everyone is basically where everybody's looking in the wrong direction, looking outside of themselves to define themselves. You got that, hey, Amy? It's strong, hey? Amy, that's the people that aren't doing the, okay, no, it's not me. Those are the people like, it is me, and you better all fulfill my wishes for what reality is. Meaning it is me. I want a nuclear family. I want Christian values at the forefront. I'm sick and tired of seeing anything that messes with the game I want to play. So it comes down to my game I want to play on the reality is have kids and everyone be good, no crime, and 2.4 children, and good Christian values. You don't get divorced. You stick it out with the children. Basically, people who are like, you wouldn't want to play with them at break. Listen, we're playing Star Wars. You, Luke, you this person. Stand over there. You stand over here. Think like I think. Lock yourself into a relationship and get the government to sign off on it. Let's play Barbies. No, Barbie doesn't stand that way. She stands this way. Those are the pissed off people. And a piece of me is happy. But then even I go and listen to the comments, and then even I get pulled in with the gravity of opinions and go, you're all dumb, you all don't get it. This is all an illusion. But if you're going to make comments about the illusion, then the part of my ego wants to go, then these must be the comments about the illusion. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's an illusion. So I find then my own, within myself, my counter to getting too close to all the ignorance is going, you know what, it's all energy. I'm not human, I'm going to rise above it all. And then you go, well, let's have a look what they're saying now. And you zoom back in, because what they're saying now will still be a reflection of when you zoomed out. My dad got upset tonight. That smells like incense. Oh, you're burning incense? That's so funny. Did the incense... You realize it wasn't... Did your dad get upset because of the smell of incense? You realize it wasn't your dad getting upset. It was the giggles energies that feed on him getting upset. I mean, we've all got lots of that. It's like different types of bacteria. Some bacteria is good, some of it gets carried away, some of it bacteria thinks it owns you, some of the bacteria knows that it's being hosted on you. Different types of invisible energies are like that. You cultivate them just like bacteria based on what you entertain. That's why if you entertain, holistic rituals, they dissipate. And if you entertain unconsciousness, that's why rituals are important. They bring about awareness. I'm consciously doing this. I'm not just shoving food in my face because I need food in my body. Eating is eating. This eating is the way I perceive reality. When you perceive reality, you're consuming it. You are what you eat. The thoughts you have. So if you turn your eating into a prayer ritual to thank the highest God, thank you, Lord, I offer this food to you, then your mind's going to be on consuming reality as a divine experience. That's why religious rituals exist. It's literally a technology to bring you back to yourself. That's so good, Tunable, that you did that. That you brought up born identity. The whole idea of, my identity and the one I'm born with. And then have I actually been reverse born identity trained? That's so cool. No, they're fantastic. No. Wait. It's so interesting. You gave off Tunable's energy right now. Sibylla? Yeah, Tunable's energy. Tunable's also concerned about something the other day. And you guys really, I can't emphasize this enough, you guys are not in the realms of things messing with you. You guys are You're the people who stop being other entities being messed with. Anything you experience, if it's all auspicious. The incense is very much a blessing. It's good. It's the other direction. All things work together for good. Because you guys do, everyone here, you love consciousness, you love light, you love truth. It's the same as saying you love the Lord. Your light that emanates out of you, that manifests reality that you're studying, that you're honoring, that you're dabbling in every day, that you're subscribing to me for 6 months to talk this all the time. All things work together for good for those who love the Lord. You guys love the Lord. The Lord is your own light. The God in you, that's me. And so things will default in your favor. Good morning, Jamie! Tunable, I can't emphasize enough how grateful I am for the situation. And you are literally any individual aspect is the totality. But you as well, Sibylla, thank you. Do you know in giving you're receiving, and receiving you're giving, in questions are the answers, because we know everything. The right questions bring the right everything into focus. So it's really good questions that are clever answers. Your higher self would have permeated the question so that the truth could be reestablished. You're all God's gift to itself. Stay present. I love that. God's gift to itself. Stay present. Sibylla, let's read Karen. I want to read more about her. Shortly after giving birth to Baldwin, Sibylla came to be associated with her brother in public acts. Sibylla's second marriage to a guy named Lasagna. Lasagnanan. Luziganan. It's not lasagna, but it looks like the word lasagna. It was arranged in 1180. Then they adopted a ginger cat named Garfield. What?
Lasagna.
It looks like lasagna.
Let me see, where is this lasagna?
Lasagna. Then they adopted an orange cat named Garfield. And then Islamic states invaded, and Israel was Israel was no more until 1948. And the greatest crime in humanity was to getting him out and start trouble now. No politics. Free Palestine. That was funny. Did you guys see that video? Guys like, I don't want to talk politics. I want to talk soccer. I want to talk football. I want to kick the ball. No politics. I'm not talking politics. I'm talking kicking the ball. No politics. I was like, you know what? Fuck you. Free Palestine. Such a good video. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Really tunable. I haven't watched any Olympics. Let's focus on the Olympics, on sports. Like half an hour. Oh, you hear what they did? And he's stirring it up again. Everyone must just have fun. And then regularly check in with yourself.
What's the kayak?
Regularly go back to your point of self-awareness. That's all you. Otherwise, run around, have fun, talk nonsense. Forgive yourself, condemn yourself, then re-forgive yourself for condemning yourself. Just your existence, everybody that I'm talking to right here, your existence resonates an awakening. You guys, your existence at this point, just existing, having fun, talking this nonsense, remembering, reflecting, certain thoughts, questions occurring to you. Your higher self is cultivating your perfection. Oh, I didn't say that. That came out of nowhere. Your higher self is cultivating your perfection.
So, extreme kayaking.
Yeah. That's what you hear Phil talking about it.
Yeah.
Phil's like, I won't miss a single race.
That sounds very
Extreme
cool.
kayaking. They drop from 6 feet into the water. You have to do at least one Eskimo roll. Touch your nose 4 times.
It sounds great. It's like
that's why I love the Olympics, because I like all the unique shit you don't normally get to see. And then everyone coming together and doing it and seeing who the best is. I don't want to watch sports all the time. I wouldn't want to be a sports person. There's always, you can't miss the golf. The golf's on, you can't miss the golf. What a mission.
But the Olympics is great. It's just like...
Give my dose for 4 years.
Yeah.
Now I need it because I haven't had it in 8 years.
Yeah, you didn't watch the last one. It was so
But
upsetting.
it was scattered. They had a bit of it the next year.
And what's upsetting is that we were really looking forward to that because it was in Japan.
Okay, but Team US basketball, they did well there.
That's a shock.
But they'll definitely win. South Africa got a bronze medal in rugby.
That's...
Your real name is Sydney, no ways. Is there a civilian way back in your ancestry? Yeah, I read about her now. Told you all about her. She's the Israel, Judah. The word, wait, hold on. The word I'm trying to get now? Jerusalem. Sorry, Jerusalem. Jerusalem, yeah. Why does that word sound weird? It sounds like toilet. Toilet. Sometimes you say a word and you say it enough and it's like, it doesn't sound like a word. Is that a word? Nachi is another word like that. Yeah, sorry.
I was in the hospital during the Barcelona Olympics. That's where my appendix...
92?
Yeah.
No ways. That's where Barry met his wife.
Huh. Oh yeah, because they were both athletes. That's crazy. So we know people who've been to the Olympics.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what, at the moment, my favourite thing of like knowing somebody who knows somebody who's something special is Sai Baba's storyteller. The fact that he responds to my comments. That's my favourite person right now, person who I know who's interacted with somebody who's second to none. Like if Sai Baba was alive now, I'd probably go pilgrimage and go find him. And you arrive at him and he's like, what do you want from me? I mean, what do you want from you? I'm like, I don't know, I just wanted to meet myself again. How am I doing? It'd be really cool actually. I wonder who the highest vibrating being on the planet right now is. Who's the highest avatar? Alright, they all are. They're all still here.
Love you.
Love you. The Medici family and the Catholic Church. Ooh, what about the Medici family? Have an amazing one as well, Gardner. Oh, wait, no ways. Sibylla, my family was a mistress of one of the King of England, no ways. It'd be so interesting to because in your Akashic records you can see that stuff. You can see who you're connected to and how it all works in your parallel lifetimes and your genetics in this life. That's another thing as well. Humans, us, we always talk human-centric. You know what I mean? Like, and we talk gender and race-centric. But we're that for 80 years at a time, max. You know? And max 80 years, maybe 100 years if you have a good life. But so you're talking human-centric, race-centric, gender-centric, but you're never that for very long. I find that amusing. Like you should speak eternal nature, well, you should speak God-centric. That's the whole point. Otherwise you end up worshipping the other centrics. And limit yourself and lock yourself into that centric. The idea of humans going, oh no, the Caucasians are being bred out of existence. It's like, you're not a Caucasian, what the fuck are you on about? You know? Like people have these 15-year arguments. So they zoom in on 15 years and that's all that there is. And then, you know, you zoomed out. The variables that are important there, their origins make them, they dissipate the importance. Variables' importance dissipate if you can get a big enough picture. Along with the understanding that it's all self. Catholic Church, they sacked Rome, brought in 4 popes. See, there's so much of that. That's why all of those stories are interesting and very cool. But we can't identify with the physicality of the story. We have to extract the essence, the spiritual essence of stories. And then everything becomes God's pastimes. You make all characters one consciousness in all of their experience. And then the numbers, the symbols, the variables, the ups, the downs, that just becomes the topography of God's mind. And in balanced capacity, you look at it. And all events are energetic, I would say, knots being solved. To study the Mayan calendar is fascinating. The Mayan calendar has 13 phases. And if you watch, once the phases complete, they repeat quicker. And if you actually overlap the Mayan calendar onto human history, the events were technically ordained, because we go, like, in other words, there's the 13 things are six nights and 7 days. During nights, there's negative things. So like during the first night, the Earth's being pelted with meteorites. You know what I'm trying to say? And then the next day, things happened. So like the first, the day would have been the first flora happening. So you would have giant time gaps. And then when it repeats, during the next, one of the nights would have fallen during the Dark Ages. Jesus would have been crucified on the 5th night. If you just go look at the Mayan calendar and the way it gets smaller, and so that the last 100 years, if you look at when World War II happened, when World War I happened, those would have started on nights. Then there would have been days when prosperity would have happened. Now we're living in that whole thing in a nano moment. 2012 was when that whole thing happened within 6 minutes. We had 6 minutes that consisted of the same of all of human history. After 2012, we're living in real time. So like the now is all nows interfacing with the all nows. Yeah, exactly. And so now that's another thing. Now you look into that. You look into Gregorian, Julian calendars, 13 months, thingy things. The church, I'm jumping around now, the church removing reincarnation from the Bible. So in 200 and something AD, when King Constantine put the 77 books or the 55 books in the Bible and then kept some aside, they did it to speed up Christian evolution. They're like, oh, if reincarnation doesn't exist, you better get it right this lifetime. So a lot of the times they'll do bad things thinking has a benefit effect, a positive effect. So to cut out the feminine, to get rid of 13, to downplay, to even get rid of God's feminine name in the Bible. God's mother God is mentioned 3 times in the original books. That was separated and taken away. You call him, you talk to God, him, and male, because they don't want the emotions, the passion. So at the time, whatever, those men thought that was a good idea. So even though it was a bad thing, always look to the reasoning. You're not justifying them. You're seeing that it's actually impersonal energy always doing the same thing over and over again. It's your energy doing the same thing over again until you assimilate it, transcend it. So the Jewish calendar has 13. Yeah, it has 13. And so now nothing in human history, you wouldn't have done the same thing if you were in the same place of the same thing, which means you might as well just assimilate all of history as if you were God, and you were, and because it is that. So like humans, or us all talking now, the one thing we don't do is go, it's always me and always was all me. That ruins your ego's patheticness. It's weird though. You want your ego to go, no, but what are my stories? What's my role in this? As opposed to, wait, you know what? I was dreaming this whole time. It was always all me. No, I want a little side story for myself so that the collective can look at me and like me or think I'm good for something different. Except, it's like you want the reward from others when you could just take the whole thing. Oh no, but then I don't get rewarded. Yeah, but you don't get de-rewarded either. It's like, I want great adventure. I want an adventure in never-ending self. I don't want a great adventure. I want to go home. I want to return to source. Well, how do I do that? I push the reset on creation. I don't invest in collapsing waveforms as other. I only acknowledge self. Weird, hey? When the one is so much and the other one is nothing yet. Habit. I think it's habit that makes us reach for the limited self-definition. And then some people going, oh, you can't say that. Why? Well, we know one person who said that, who was that, and he got killed. He was actually that, and he did miracles and you do nothing. And we murdered him. So don't you say you're God. Funny. So you're saying Christianity is a warning? Catholic Church is like, yes. We wrote the story so that if you ever think you're clever and you're God, fucking nail you to wood. Plus the other Christians who, will prevent you from ever saying it out loud. Reward versus de-reward instead of reward versus punishment. Wow. Very much more accurate. Yes, much more accurate. Because it's alone with self. See, punishment, although it's fascinating. This was a Sai Baba video from the other day. If you were alone, how do I say this? The psychology of trying to teach something to something, and then when it doesn't get it right, punishment. I don't know. Yeah. See, it's funny how it nerves when it's you. Like if, it's me doing it to me and me experiencing it, it's all me. Then you kind of like, you downplay whether or not it's for your own good or not. I can't explain it actually. I'm not even saying it right. I suppose it just comes down to maturing. Spiritually maturing. Which is a dumb thing as well, because I'm not in the thing of we are becoming something. We've always been that thing. We stepped into amnesia to have an experience. And then to say that there's being stuck in amnesia or stuck in samsara, I know that's tongue-in-cheek. I know that's ultimate God going, stuck. What about it? I know it's that. I know ultimately it's all that. There is no actual meaning and there's no meaning and emphasis. There's just transcendent nature. And the rest of the experiences are just pastimes, God's pastimes. We dream these pastimes through degrees of amnesia. But ultimately, without amnesia, it's all transcendental quality. All things nod to your eternal nature. Thank you for the TikToks. Thank you so much, Steph Curtis. Mighty appreciated. Mighty appreciative. Mighty grateful. Thank you. Now, courtesy. Thank you. That's actually quite cool. You get to courtesy whenever somebody is nice to you. Like, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so Pocahontas is trending. Maria Corina, that's because of politics in South America. Iraq is trending. President Trump. Simone Biles, did she kick butt? Did she win? Did she get the gold? Let's have a look-see. Oh, shame. How's that one chick? She fell. She fell. And they really enjoyed watching her fall. They were like, ha, she fell. And then there's just videos, they're editing videos of, people falling and tripping over their feet and Biden tripping upstairs. So is she good? Is she the best? Trying to see if she won. Oh, you know the name. That's so classic. Oh, that's what made me look at it. That's so good. Well, yeah, good movie. So that's what made me think of it. I was like, Jade Carey, isn't it? Jane Carey? Yeah, it was trending, so I looked at it and she fell. Shame. A little of a fall, yeah. No, that's her. That's shame. That's it. That's her hopes and wishes done. I was saying, you know how hectic it must be? You watch the Olympics, you grow up watching the Olympics like me. I didn't grow up watching it, but I got obsessed with it. And then you're like, no, I want to be an Olympic athlete, no matter what. And then you make a list of what sports there are. And your whole idea is you just want to get into the Olympics. You're not like, you weren't raised a swimmer or raised one of these sports people, but you just want to be in the Olympics. And then you eventually find out you can qualify for one thing. And then you do, and then you train hard, and you find out, no, this is actually a legit thing. I might actually feature. And then you get sponsorships, and you do your thing, and from 2018 for 2 years. And then COVID hits. Fuck. I'd be so angry. Like, my whole life, this is perfect timing. I'm at my peak. Here we go. Olympics, world stage. I'm going to show off and be the best. And then the COVID kicks in and you get to perform in front of 4 people, you know. And then, yeah, you win. It'd be funny. Imagine that. Who won gold medals for the first time at the last Olympics? Shame, hey? Not fair. But they'll grow as people. All things work together for good for those who love the Lord. Train yourself, actually. The things that you think are not good, the things that you would be negative, upset you. Train yourself to laugh at yourself, almost tease yourself, and then apply the lesson, and then apply it like lame, so that you almost like, it's funny. If you be laughing and learning continuously, negativity can be perpetually transmuted if you don't identify. What is Acts 20:24? Dang it, I was actually talking something then. I went back to say something else, and I wanted to go down that road further. So Karen will come back. Thank you so much, Curtis, for those likes. See those likes pouring in. Sure, there's quite a lot. Crazy amount. 14,000 is a lot. Thanks, everybody. We're talking about Paris Olympics. All right, my talk, and then you're like, cool, gonna do it, and then you train again for the next Olympics. You're gonna get in front of the world. And then they go and ruin it with this stupid big Last Supper. But you know what I mean? Like, you'd be so disappointed as a person. Like, they ruin your Olympics. Now, I think that this is when the real athletes, DBC, top of this fine morning to you. This is when the real athletes step forward. People who can just block all of that out. I was at a karate competition, and my sensei was doing his kata, and you get giant sports halls. The light above him exploded. He did like a and it's like boosh, and this explodes, and like all the glass falls down, and he doesn't move. He literally finished the thing perfectly. Didn't flinch. Didn't hesitate. Obviously got his gold medal. But I'm wondering if he got his gold medal because he didn't flinch when the thing exploded. The idea of being focused, that's what katas are about. But sports as well. It's not just my other competitors and the weather and. It's all the psychology of being, competing at the highest level. Testify to the gospel of the grace of God. Is that Acts 20:20 thing? The funny thing is, the Christians are right if you speak transcendental metaphor. Wait, if you speak transcendental metaphor, then everyone is right. Because everything's just going to be a transcendental reflection. So it's like, do you choose to see yourself in your world or not? If you always see yourself in your world, you'll see us. It's always you. It'll be just a sequential experience of sequential experience will be a last polarized perception of your last experience, and it'll just continue. What a self. Amen. Amen. I want to go watch your excerpt. If you ask a question, I might just answer. Oh, it's Haley Welch. I follow her. It's the Hak Tui girl. And she's great, because she's got she goes and feeds animals, and she's like, the world needed the Hak Tui girl, not because of the metaphor that she got famous for, the opposite reason. She's like a better person than the average person. She's like quality. Quality, she knows who she is, she's thinking, she's like, okay. Like the world needed a dose of her, a dose of grounding almost. She's like, I know who I am. Because the thing she became famous on is technically like a subject matter. But she's not like that. She drunk that night, she made a comment, she's having fun, but she's all about, people can say what they want to say. Like, there's people who are famous who are like, I hate her, because she's getting paid huge money to go make celebrity appearances. And like, I hate her, she's not famous for nothing. And then she's like, instead of saying that they're wrong for saying that, she's like, well, I don't wake up and attack people. So now, how many millions of people get to hear that and go, you know what, that's a much better attitude, I like her. I want to be like that from now on. Influences. Better than effluences. She's a realignment of sudden fame. Like the way it doesn't go to her head, and she's just down to earth, and she's using her fame to do like, go feed some animals, do some fundraising, do some good stuff with it. Fireworks, thank you so much, dude. Yeah, no, yeah, actually, yes. And yourself. Exactly. Yeah. It's funny how, technically, if you know your world's copying you, because it is copying you, you're just in average person will be in a trance, mesmerized by their own nature. What's more of the story? Damn, I was going to say something. Dang it, I totally took my thought away. Oh, if you try and be a good example, if you know the world's copying you, you can literally be a good example in thought. Because what you think of everything enhances what everything thinks of everything as well, besides the fact that it's going to simultaneously feel that way about you. You can lock reality into any kind of relationship you define. You will love me as I love me. Animal man. Do you know that the lady that's the world's best animal communicator lives down the road from me? If you watch that video on YouTube where she talks to the panthers, she's an animal communicator. Like, she will literally go to your house and be like, you leave the back door open on the weekend. And they'll be like, yes. Well, cat doesn't like that. That door shuts with the wind. Can you please keep that door shut? And the whole family looks at each other like, how the fuck? So you do, so it's definitely, they do communicate with animals. And then she does courses and stuff. Any horozoology? Yeah, of course. It's like the guy who knows everything. Me, yeah. And then you ask me questions, and I'm like, anthrozoology. That's the study of animal psychology in relation to human. I have no clue what that is. I know it's got zoology, so there's animals involved in anthrozoology. The origin of animal group mentality. I don't know. So fireworks, I'm about to go lock it into. So same thought, eh? So fireworks, when I read Information Genius, influence, example to yourself, your GoFundMe thing popped into my brain. I've just been seeing some of the teaching when it comes to dogs. Is a study of the animal-human bond. Fascinating, eh? Because that study would also be an abstract study of how consciousness relates to consciousness. That's so good. How existed. We are given the information we need to know. Okay, where we at here? Sorry, my thing here. I want to see what's trending quickly. So, Pocahontas, Venezuela. Trump is weird. Don Lemon, Cuba, Mali. No, man. Okay, yes, man, actually. So I saw another thing with that, like, just a weird thing where they're trying to... People are getting stupid, The way they try and rip off politicians. They get, like, they go below... They go below when it's actually, like, come on now, stop it. Don't be stupid. That's being rude. Let's all be mature. But then at the same time, it's like, everybody, free play. Everybody just go crazy. Say what you want to each other. It's funny, you got the knowers and the know-nots. Those who know life as a reflection, those who don't. Those who think it's literal and those who understand it's not. And then those who play with both sides and because they know that the is and the isn't is built out of itself. It ultimately eclipses, transcends itself. It's fascinating. God's good, basically. Creation's a fascinating thing. Like, I know we're God or whatever, but it's good. It's fucking like, nice. Like, well done. You maybe built a thing out of nothing, and it's fascinating, and there's laughter. What's laughter? It's like the concept of laughter. The entire universe was nothing more than a laughter support system. So God could go physical, go limited, and then go, ha 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 ha. Because ultimately I'm not. None of this all fades ultimately. I'm ultimately. So it's like you created a realm that you can enjoy your ultimate nature in. A semi-nerfed existence that you can unnerve at will. Desmond, stop! I think the risk is very real. Elon Musk. Whatever. Go in, Elon Musk. Learn to accept everything. You think Elon would know that this place is holographic illusionary and that karma works based on your relationship with yourself, and then I've got a higher IQ than Elon technically. You all have everyone here has a higher IQ than Elon. Not that IQ means shit actually. Thank you so much, Curtis, for the ice cream and the music playing, the GG. Thank you, dude. Didn't have a dime though. Okay, so what else is happening? That's it, basically. That is it. Nothing else is trending. Nothing else is really happening. This is going to be a more chilled week. Awake, sleep no more. Pramahansa Yogananda. That's his quote right now. Awake, sleep no more. Amen. Who? Amen me. In the higher dimensions, we've already won. I watched the road again. Hello. He is whose mind is no anger, hatred, or envy, who never loses his balance, dies or is born, who is but God. But the path of God is long and difficult, and very few people attain him. We are all babies struggling. Swami Vivekananda. Kiki. Virus, thank you so much for likes, dude. Anyone got any interesting random questions? Like just random, like anything. Psychic. Ask me anything. Ask me like what the Pope's doing right now. Like ask me anything. Just let's take it right off of the norm. Yeah, ask Karen. Ask anything. Brilliant, Fireworks. Your path's been cleared, Fireworks. Things are just gonna happen easily for you. Your path's been cleared. You haven't got any. Your thing's so balanced. It's not even. It makes me want to giggle after I say the phrase. It's not even funny. It's so clear. It's not even funny, and then I want to giggle. I thought he says not funny. I know it's a figure of speech. Everything I've taught you everything. Said the list 7 times. I've said the same thing non-stop, and all I do is say the same thing in circles. I'm basically flying around a sphere that wobbles based on the collective's misunderstanding of itself, and then I know what subject to, how to change subject matter or subject focus or metaphor. That's all I do. I've been doing that since 2000. I've been doing that non-stop. I'm basically dragging enlightenment. I'm dragging it around, basically. It's like I'm manually recreating. It's an interesting way of doing it, basically. I feel like I'm not growing or expanding my remembering or doing enough. That is the last 2 weeks, Karen. That is the last 2 weeks. You're going to, now, the next 3 days in a row, what you're feeling you're not, you're going to are. It's been a 3 days of, I want to say shitty energy. I don't want to be negative. But it's, because it's happening because of good reasons. So many people are off the trance that reality is changing in quick now, that what the reason why you do what you do is to get this result. Now that the result's being got, it feels like the floor's not there. And especially for us switched on people. This last 2 weeks has been odd. And I can guarantee the next 3 days will be the opposite of why this was odd. We've moved through that thing. So then fireworks, the only thing left to learn is a deep realization that you projected me. Everything in your world. A deep core knowing. Be still and know that you are God. And the rest is just balancing of that fact, basically. That's no fun. It's gonna be now, Karen. Now. You wake up from tomorrow with a different, you'll be like, what? You step on the floor like this a few times. Okay, it's solid. From the very next time you wake up, Karen. For 3 days in a row. I have no words. I don't say the word grounding because that doesn't describe it. Clarifying, no, that doesn't describe, because the feeling you got now is kind of like a haze. Like, where misinformation and information seem like the same thing. Where a vibrational enhancement relative to a world, am I trying to help the world or myself? That thing. We've lost, for 2 weeks, all direction was directionless. All achievement was achievementless. And that's just because so many people are being freed. So many people in those last 2 weeks were let off, basically had that moment of, oh shit, this whole world is not a lie, it's the truth reflecting what I hold true. And that in the present will be a degree of lie. Because relative to your potential, your full remembrance of being God and where you're currently at, you need to go on a fractal journey back to yourself. Dang, that's it. Exactly. You just articulated the psychic collective. We feel like we're dangling at the moment. Sup, Hannah? We're all technically spiritually bipolar to some degree. That's rain outside. I'm gonna go look at your thing quickly. As if I was, I'm gonna go look at your. Go find me. This is so funny. My cat's tail. Stop it. There. And what word did you use? Didn't you say hovering? Dangling. Why did I get hovering from dangling? When you said dangling, I didn't picture holding on to anything. I pictured the feet moving, and hovering feet wouldn't be moving too much. That idea, but I didn't picture hanging. Like there wasn't any connection to anything. So it was technically hovering. So Billy, have an amazing one. Thank you. I shall, and you shall too. This whole week's gonna be a general uplift, like the whole place. Just on. Not that we need always uplifting in good times. We're here to realize we're God. We're not here to have good times and avoid bad times. We're only here. Those things will be used against us purely to bring us into focus. Why did I say that? Because just anyway, we're gonna be having a good week. Good old-fashioned boring, good old-fashioned, good upbeat week, collectively. So it's not nice when you have a good time yourself and the world's creating new dramas. Dun, 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 dun. Nice. I love it. Empowering the light's path to enlightenment. This is great. She's so wonderful. I try to stay optimistic amongst the weirdness and the stay amazing. Speak to you soon. This is great, dude. So you must get your X going, because then this is where you go now and you basically take your link and you go talk to other people who anywhere that they've said the word golden age hashtag, you can go now down all those comments and just drop your link as a comment response. I'll do some distribution for you as well, definitely. Don't go changing. And then how does it work? Do you have is there a window? Is there a duration that the thing will exist? Or does it exist until you stop it? I promise you, you're God, and so are the people and money, and this world isn't real. I promise. So anyone who participates in giving you anything will get this is what it is. We're all one energy, and so anything you give, you receive simultaneously. And every one of us is on a journey to becoming God. So any one of us who receives anything from anybody, the people who did the giving will get a tenfold kickback energetically. So it'll be insight, it'll be luck in the future, it'll be money when they need it. That's factual facts. So technically, to offer, to put yourself out there, to be given something, is actually the giving. If it's all one being, there is no giving and getting. There's just simultaneous receiving. And so asking is giving, is what I'm saying. And I think I mentioned it above, that's facts. So I'm only telling you this, not so that your fiancé can be right or wrong or whatever, just so you can be more like, It'd be a form of sin, actually, to feel bad and think that you're asking for something. To know that it's all you. To forget that it's all you is sin. To know that it's all you is divine. So, to not ask, to feel bad is that you should feel bad that you feel bad. The fact that you don't feel bad should make you feel good. The fact that you know this, that it's all you. You know it's all you. No one can give you anything. If you emanate the universe, yes. And so, for what I just said, I'll say it again. If you emanate the universe, nobody can give you shit. So with that said, we can bless each other. You can bless yourself. It's all you can do. And in receiving, you're giving. There's a simultaneous energetic exchange taking place. And then, and all of the above. Road trips, GoFundMe, go insinuate yourself in the middle of other people's business yourself. So then you flip it around, not, hey, are these people going to do me a favor? I'm doing them a favor by approaching them. Now I can hear the collective opposition to what I just said. That's a scam artist, that's a thingy, Yeah, you're right, if I was wrong. If we're not all one consciousness, that you're not God, So the people who say that we're not God, that we're not one consciousness, that giving you're not receiving, and vice versa. All the people that say that, cool, I'll talk to them. Because I guarantee it's I'm right. And if you say this out loud, there's a lot of people can hear a lot now. People can hear truth. If you say a bunch of stuff, and a crowd listens, people are gonna go, yeah, that's true. They can hear truth. I have faith. That's one thing I do have faith in. I have faith in the collective listening to itself. It resonates with. If it resonates, it resonates. Da-na-na-na. Got a beautiful kitty on my lap. My life is so perfect. Boolin boy, good morning to you. Barbara. No, man, stop being weird. You guys are weird. You're talking to now. I'm talking to it's a brand of spiritualist on Twitter who thinks that they live in a world where people are bad. It's not, because it's all you. And so because those people are bad, how are they bad? Or they worship Ukraine. No, that's Satan's sigil. Do you know Satan's sigil that they try and say? If you got Satan's sigil, you're like, that's Satan's sigil. And it's the same as Ukraine sigil. So like, you see, Ukraine worships the devil. And it's like, it's just like pot logic, basically. So like the lady that was Jesus' character in the Last Supper, they're like, you've been chosen to be exposed. And then they highlight one of her tattoos, as if that's proof now she's from the dark side. And that whole brand of belief is so hilarious. Haha, like you've seen the Hollywood Black Eye Club. Like if you're a famous person, then there's pictures of every famous person with a black eye at some point. Like that was the Illuminati ritual. That's how they were, And the funny thing is, even though that's a very weird spin on consciousness, it's made up and those people are running with it. Behind that, it is still energetically accurate-ish. Meaning, whenever I looked into my world and I didn't see that it was me, I got a black eye. Every time I criticized other, I energetically. So if you think of Odin and the one eye, the all-seeing eye, there's energetic metaphor allegory there. So God's hilarious. Creation, God, it in its ultimate expression, even when it's making an anti what it is, it's going to make an example of how erroneous one has been in one's previous thinking. And then you see this model of thinking and you're like, okay, I have been that way, you're right. See, you can be right or you can be free. To be right is to be attached to a holographic reality, a timeline that mirrors you. You're a prisoner of that matrix. You can escape all things by transcending. Which means you're not going to be there to point at what's right and what's wrong. You're going to see all things are made out of all things. It is what it is, and I don't participate in it. I'm spiritually bipolar. As soon as it's like, I'm in hell. I'm stuck in a holographic, replicating, mirrored existence. And then it's like, I'm gonna die. This is terrible. Oh Lord, save me, Lord, save me. And then you realize, you get out of creation, you see it for what it is. And you're like, I'm jumping back in. Jump back in again. Who am I? What is this? Who are we? What are you? Superimposed conscious, it's like a superimposed conscious awareness. Nothing matters. It is what it is. Nothing matters. It is what it is better than going, problem solve. Ultimately, you can fall back on your cloud and know that you're God. That is way better than, no, you've got to stress and strategize for tomorrow's literal experience. Sai Baba says it the best. You're mental for this world, or you're mental for God. Meaning the nature of reality. You're either always focusing on that, or you entertaining a delusionary world. That's only going to mirror your delusion. It'll either mirror your delusion or you'll transcend it. And I love it. I love the fish, the delusion, the flipping and flapping, the bipolar, the yin-yang, the yes, them, but yes, but me, but them, but me, but all right, that's the back end of the same being I'm discussing. I'm a fish flopping around. And that's all you can do with the mind. You're supposed to transcend the mind. The mind is bipolar. The mind is schizophrenic. It'll talk to other. Walk on the water. Space knowing of. Karen, that's like master. That's master application of yourself. To do thingy, create the space, and then grateful. So you ask knowing, basically, is what you do. What you do there. It's great. It's master. It's a master class in application of manifestation. Who am I when I ask for truth? Exactly. That's the Atman. Well, it's layers of other your mental, emotional bodies, but your Atman, your soul, it's self. You know, when you're being selfless, there is no self, because there's the physical and the things, the subject matter that we define with are illusionary. They're not the real us. The real us is God, which is a transcendental, nondescript thing. It's Atman. It's your soul. It's transparent, eternal potency. There's karmic particles that make us identify with matter, with physicality. Karmic particles. Literally. And you can burn your karma, balance it. And then you escape the death-birth cycle. You'll escape it psychologically first. Your brain, you're always defining, redefining, and de-defining it. You'll stop doing that, and you'll basically identify with the eternal aspect of yourself, not the changing aspect of yourself. It's crazy like that, Karen, to the point where the results can be so good and so quick that you almost forget to do it again. You like put it aside. It's like meditating. I always refer to that. Like if I do a smile meditation for 17 seconds, within 24 hours, such good stuff happens that it's like it's almost like surreal, like wait, and so good that you forget what you did to make it happen. Well, you remember once, you go, okay, cool, it actually works. But then you're enjoying the fruits of the thing so much that you almost don't do the smile thing again too soon, when you should actually do it all the time. It's like meditating. I can still my reactive mind and perceive reality as it truly is, and the results are so good, it lasts 2-3 days, that I don't meditate every day. I'm still enjoying the fruits of my meditation. Like it's weird. It's like you do something for the good benefit, but the good benefit is kind of like a bribe. It prevents you from going back to that good activity. It's all about balance, never ending, impossible, but balance. Walk on the water, step on. So I'm just thinking now that a lot of people are like, this is what reality is. This is what we need everyone to know, and they're wrong. A lot of that. It's like, gotta educate everybody. You gotta make them believe this. You gotta, and then the media, and then the counter this and this and this. And those people believe they need to do this, but they're wrong. If you have an opinion, if you spin it, you're wrong. You're not wrong. The degree's a writer, but you're still wrong if you're not saying, oh, it's all me. Freeze reality. Everything is me in engaging the self, back and forth. No, I think what it is and whatever you say, you're right about your self-polarized self-perception. So now, what do you hold true? Now you can start looking at everything and go, well, it would actually be wrong not to sit in the seat of godhood. As opposed to, no, that's actually a leap of, just a jump in understanding, and you're actually going to blaspheming now. So now you go around looking at all the beliefs and not, what do you believe? Why are you choosing to believe it? If it was true, if what you hold true was made true, would you choose to believe it? If you could choose beliefs based on making a thing true when you choose the belief. It does work like that. That's free will. That's true free will. You don't even know what it is until you can get clear of it. So it's very beneficial to indoctrinate a being, to educate it, indoctrinate it, get it into an operating system, and then tell it what's true. Because if you can do that to a being that's manifesting its reality, you can basically get God to create a reality for you. If you were looking at reality like a technology from an alien point of view, you could imprison humanity. Technically, you imprison God. Put every human in their own side pocket universe. They think they're together, they're not. And then you get them to fractal their belief with themselves. If I had to give the actual structure of the universe an agenda, that what I just said is true. I play degrees of blind to my own eternal nature. This is true about me and them. All of the they and the me are the same. We meet each other there. They don't want you to know. I know I don't want you to know. Why? Because saying I don't want you to know is going to make you go, why mustn't I know? So you see, it's the same being trolling on both sides of the same spectrum. I heard that human trafficking, there are no such things, this whole thing's a hologram. But there's mind trafficking. Really? Yes. Yeah, as soon as the person goes, really? As soon as you go, yes, and they believe you, you're mind trafficking them. Which means, there would be a lot of trafficking going on. And, innocent people born and then buy into a religion and get told what they're not. God. You get taught what you're not. Right? None of the religions teach you that you're God. Do they? Not God. Alright, some do. None of the traditional ones that I know of say, hey, you're God. This exists to remind you of that. No, in fact, it'll teach you that you're not God. God's outside of you, blah, 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 all that other shit. But that the religions are a snapshot of the collective condition of the place. So it's fine. Reality adhered to during something big like God. How do you explain intricacy of reality adherent to me during something? I have no idea. I know. Oh, inside and outside. Inside is a reflection of outside, and you fluctuating. You know the flux capacitor in Back to the Future? It's exactly the same thing, magnified and then condensed, and then its opinion about that fact is what a external, internal, the details, is that you're asking. Like, how does a giant event have so many people simultaneously manifesting? Because they're commenting at their mind. We're not actually manifesting properly. We're commenting on commenting. We're realitying. So we are beings in flux, perpetually self-defining. And we're using our external reality. We think we're saying something about it, but we're actually self-defining. And then we're going back to the self, and then defining, and then going and saying, oh, just defining. But that thing we're defining is the self multidimensionally inversed. So we have meditation, bring it to a standstill and see it for what it is. Become aware of it without words. Everything exists in a timeline somewhere, sometime, and you're just occupying space based on the relationship you have with yourself. That's it. We got to stop thinking movement and start thinking eternal. It's going to happen anyway. It's happening now. This fifth root race. Not fifth race. The fifth taproot, Golden Age taproot's busy establishing itself. This week, things clarify, basically. Karen, thank you for saying that, which is weird because it's the same. I would say that too. Like, I probably would have. Yeah, if you don't know this, you could go to look into this world and try and reconcile a purpose and this world. It's gonna either drive you insane. You'd go nuts. I would, if I didn't know this stuff, I probably would have, taken it out. This place is technically a nightmare without that knowledge. And it can literally be dreamt into a heavenly state. It doesn't matter, you take heaven with you, it's in you, you are it. And it's like, so at worst best now, heaven's arm wrestling hell. As opposed to, without this knowledge, it would have just been never-ending, self-defining hell. It would have cascaded into hell, aging and dying, with a very negative self-imposed reason for that. Like, I would have made myself age and I would have cursed myself to death. That's what life is. You think enough negative because it's practical. I'm gonna let strangers walk into my house take my stuff. It's practical. Come on, man. That kid disrespected my kid. It's practical. So to live in this world is to be practical, is to incur karma, is to judge the self perpetually. 80 years and all your money runs out, all your energy runs out, all your cursing, blessing yourself energy runs out, and your telomeres fuck up and you grow old and die. You can not just not grow old, you can be a perpetual arrival, departure energy that's always with itself, with this knowledge. Which means you can more. To say I'm immortal is dumb if I'm not even measuring time anymore because I'm running through timelines. I'm eternal. Running through timelines, perfecting my own nature. Basically trading perfection with creation. The more I see the perfection in the timeline, the more I perfect, and vice versa. The universe resonates you into being, but you also resonate the universe into being. Karen, I'm the same. And there's timelines where all of our positions are changed. Like where you are a teacher that I've gone and traveled to talk, to learn from. That's another thing for, if they, there's a thing, I'm going to talk on behalf of the black sheep, the individual in a family who's so different and so uninterested in the cult of that family that they gets, that being, once they're enlightened, because they tend to go get enlightened, they're the prodigal son, is separated and then gets enlightened, comes back. They have to realize that there's a parallel, that we're all just playing characters, and that there can't be teachers without broken, but the broken is the teacher, and they're not broken in a parallel, you're the broken. It's just a mirror, it's always mirrors. To not write yourself in as the hero or the victim once you actually enlightened, because then you can pass it on to others. So dumb, I know, because the whole thing, you achieved it by realizing there aren't others, but then you become selfless. I don't exist. Exactly. So the others who do exist shouldn't exist. You transcend your false existence. Others are still in hell with their false existence. Wouldn't you rather give them transcendence than try and take something that's not real for your false self? So you're actually pure and selfless. And it's like, no, I'm not big and special because I'm pure. I'm actually pure and selfless. I don't exist. Neither do you. In the terms of limited existence that you previously defined yourself. So to be selfless isn't a godly thing. It's natural. It's not like look at me, Mr. Divine giver of selflessness. It's like, no, I've actually figured it out, guys. Look. Fucking nothing exists. It's all just built on itself. Spectral bullshit. Holographic singularities. Everyone's like, in that case, just have fun. In that case, just enjoy the sights and scenes and the sounds and the giggles and the laughter and enjoy your divine moment. Karen, I got a connection to that where there's a hospital nearby. I had a dream where I could see that everything was infinite energy loops of the self. And then in the dream, I said, I'm going to make you forget that now and then remember it when you're at the hospital with your aunt. And then 2-3 years later, I happened to drive my aunt to the hospital. And then sitting there, I had a moment like that where the dream, everything was so clear, but I wouldn't be able to handle it in real life. But I was able to remember the dream, which was like remembering the fact that it's all infinite self energy loops. And I thought about that yesterday. It feels like you saying that the things you're saying are holographic short versions of what I've been thinking. So now your world is your... If when people talk, if you just identify as if that was your own truth, because you thought it, thinking and talking will just be an interface with self. Or from now on, all talking that you hear and all thinking that you do, it's the universe. It's God's interpretation of itself, basically, on both fronts. Cool. I'm gonna log off just now to give still chill for another 20 minutes or so. Let's get all my coffee up. I'll be back. Bye now. It's cold in my world. That's why there's a subreddit called Escaping Prison Planet. Sup, Dexter? What's feeling good? Da-na-na-na-na. Cool. I think 6 minutes. I'm gonna log off. Sup, Alicia? Robert loves. When I'm all choked up. Da-na-na-na-na. It's so funny. My mind has gone completely blank. Just relaxing, K. Sab. It's true. 420 is safer than McDonald's. Just saying. Sup, Sean Wilson? Oh, no ways. That's so funny because I never actually said it, that the hospital's close to me. Like, I didn't I? I think you picked up more of my psychic impression of how close the hospital is to me. Also probably less than half a mile. Okay. Okay, used to give you the heebie-jeebies there. There's a lot to be said for that, eh, Karen? A lot to be said for that. Service, full stop. Yeah, I know you get money, but it's not the point. You know, the person the ambulance driver, the person who, you know, you faint in a situation, a person has to look after you, or you go to a shop, to go shopping, and there's a deli. Just think about a deli. You know, that's actually a thing I'm going to do this week. I'm going to spend my whole week just going gratitude. Get into my human, and then be grateful for what is on the basis levels. You know, you think of, like, you got potato salad, you got cold store, you got all this, you know, cold meats. Now you go prep that for everybody. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like, yeah, so what? It's a shop. They must know. It's amazing. Go into a shop and walk down a shopping aisle with food. It's expensive. I don't care if it's expensive. It should be more expensive. It's, you know, you go get that now. You go into nature and you get all those ingredients and you prep them, and you know what I mean? We're spoiled gods. Even our human. It's like, I have to get a job. So what? You know, you want to run around nature all day trying to get your food. Run around with snakes and animals and kill you. It's like, we've got it so good that at its we call it the worst. It's expensive, and the cost of living. It's like, hello, 200 years ago, kings didn't live as well as you did. It's like, how much would you pay? It's like, say, okay, let's go back 100 years, and I describe the internet to you. How much would you be willing to pay for that? Would you be willing to pay the cost of current society? Yes, exactly. So stop complaining ever about anything. You know what I mean? Because as soon as you complain, or you should be grateful no matter what. And you go, what about taxes? Like, yeah, good, I want to be taxed. You know, as opposed to how we won't tax you, but we're taking away all the roads, infrastructure, and you use your wagon and your cow, and you've got a piece of land, and now fucking grow corn. You know? You want to be a fancy human who's got a big mouth, who doesn't want to be taxed? In other words, you look to be actually grateful for the ancestors that built a society that we currently live in. And you count your blessings as opposed to complain about how expensive those blessings have become. Sup, Amanda! I'm going to do that this week. This week's going to be about me being an obnoxious, grateful optimist. Yeah. Da-na-na-na-na. Okay, I'm going to log off in 2 minutes. They're rude, man. People are rude. They're like Macron, they're like his wife. They're like, seriously, what the F did he marry? It's like, dude, rude. She's a person. I'm sure she's a person. Got feelings and a soul. Cares about things and it gets upset. And why are humans so rude? You know? Oh, because none of it's real. So it's, you know, to be rude is just to take the mickey out of your own reflection, right? Well, I don't know. Is that how they mean it? Who cares how they mean it? They're still each individual is still going to only affect themselves. You will inspire some and annoy others. Do it anyway. This is a random thing I'm reading. Exactly. I'm gonna you as well. Absolutely, bro. You as well. Hannah, Fireworks, everyone that's still here, have an amazing sleep. I'm not gonna say day because you guys are all, it's pretty much early evenings now anyway. And how you're gonna have a great, great week. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. May you all be triple blessed. Speak to you guys later. Take care now. Bye bye then.